Hey guys, welcome back to Dragon Exotics, and look who we have here today. It is Sincy. Hello, my name's Sincy. Just kidding, we're not doing that today. But anyways, here's this cute little fella. Everyone loves the Sincy. We're gonna be doing two things in this video today. Kind of short, I don't know, I'm just rolling with it. One, I just want to show you guys how I've updated our Sulcata enclosure, the winter enclosure, and just want to show you what I've changed in case you want to make more improvements. Last year was a little too cold for what I wanted, and so I changed some things, so I thought I'd show you. Turns out having a camera not wall mounted will be destroyed by your tortoise. Thank you, Sincy. So I will be getting a new camera installed for him. So don't mind the camera not being there. It will be there. It's going to be replaced. But yeah, so I'm just gonna head over. We're gonna look at that first, and then the second half of this video, we're just gonna be talking about differences between male and female Sulcata tortoises. So yeah, let's get started. All right, let's go inside. So the first thing you may notice is, look, I finished the insulation. Wow, I mean, not totally, but it's definitely more than it was. And I noticed that when I didn't do the insulation last time, it made it colder. Insulation's really worth it. Even if you have just something there covering the cracks, it's definitely raised the temperature a few degrees. So it's just something you want to keep in mind. Next, oh look, it's Sincy again. Wow. Don't mind his growth lines. They're a little weird this year. So, as you can tell, I definitely upgraded his bowl of water. And it's a little dirty. He just got in it. It's all wet over here. But yeah, so we've got a bowl of water, definitely bigger, and that's just one of those, let's see, what's the word? You know those planter bases that you just put under it to catch the water? Well, that's what it is. Over here, we've got a very dirty looking humidifier. Yay! Guess why it's dirty? Oh yes, because Sincy knocked it over a bunch of times. It's okay though, I'm gonna put some rocks there, it'll be perfect. I usually use that humidifier just a couple times during the winter because he tends to get a little dry. And a dry tortoise, maybe a sad tortoise. Yes. So, sorry, I had to check on something. Next, Sincy, what are you doing, buddy? Next, you can see over here that we still have that same halogen bulb. A little dusty, but it's okay. Same halogen bulb. I removed the hay because, you know, I thought the hay would be a good idea, but I don't think there's enough ventilation in here to be safe to breathing in everything. So, I don't know. I'm just leaving it with no substrate for a while. I'm going to be deep cleaning this, sweeping it all out before hard winter hits. But I just thought the hay was producing too much dust and kind of spores that I didn't want him breathing in. Isn't that right, buddy? No? Don't want to smile for the camera. But yeah, so that's with the substrate. Of course, I still have the wonderful heat mat. And, dun-da-da, look at that. 70 degrees in here, and it's so cold outside. Wonderful. And that's just on the heat mat. I also have a little temperature deal over there that connects to my phone. Much better than this thing that you saw last year. Oh wow, look how disgusting that is. Wonderful. I just thought I'd bring it out just so you guys could see it. That's why you gotta have everything wall mounted. I'm gonna say it again. Wall mount your camera, wall mount your temperature probe if you can, and wall mount everything because a tortoise will destroy it. They will destroy everything. Let me just slowly try to get Sincy. Dun-dun, dun-dun. There he is. Perfect. Another addition you may see is a ceramic heat bulb. Yay! And of course, a thermostat because I don't want to burn the house down. So the thermostat for that up here is right there. It's at like 82 degrees right here. That is wonderful. And in winter, your tortoise is going to appreciate it. There's the other halogen bulb. And I think that's really all that I've changed. I mean, I'm going to try to back out here for a minute and just show you. Oh, there's it. Okay, he's going to make a mess. But you can just see the insulation helped. I do want to add that the importance of a ceramic heat emitter I'd say in this, at first I wanted to avoid it because they do take a lot of power, but after using it, it just makes such a difference. And I feel like it's better to just use that ceramic heat emitter, whether it's a 150 watt or a 250 watt, because it will provide enough heat to your little tortoise house more than the other ones will. So just keep that in mind, and it's just something I'd recommend to you. Not too much in this part of the video, but all right, let's just go to the next section and talk about if your tortoise is male or female. Not too much in this episode today, but that's okay. Let's go. All right, part 2. So part 2 of this video, I just grabbed Sinky. Part 2, we're gonna be talking about determining whether a sulcata is male or female. Now, think about this. What do you think Sinky is just by looking at him right here with that cute little face? For those of you who guessed, great job, that's where I am too. We don't know for sure. Tortoises are complicated. So tortoises, like sulcatas, they get very big and they kind of take a while to get huge. So Sinky is 4 years old, and Sinky, based on his shell, let me hold him like this. Don't worry, doesn't hurt him, it's okay. His shell is fairly flat. If I do this, you can see how there's not really any divots. I mean, there's a little bit here, but it's not like, that's just based on their bumps. So there's a little bit of a flat section right here. And in females, it's completely flat. There's no divots whatsoever. So, that being said, you can't really see the characteristics of a male Sulcata tortoise usually until they're about 16 inches. And that's the size of their shell, everyone. So it's a safe bet to, when they're 16 inches, start trying to determine if they're male or female. Now, another characteristic, hang on guys, this guy's running away. Another characteristic of the male Sulcata tortoises is they will have gular the gular horns right here, and sometimes they'll be really long. Oh, hi buddy, you're so cute. Yes, he's such a good boy, isn't he? But they'll have gular horns right here that extend really long, because males, if you ever see two male Sulcata tortoises fighting for dominance, they'll use those gular horns to kind of stab the other in the throat. Yeah, it's kind of vicious, guys. Kind of vicious. That's why cohabiting two male Sulcatas, you got to be really careful, because they can be jerks. Yeah. Then the last characteristic that I'm going to be talking about, and I wish I could, show you something better to distinguish the two, but so far Sinky's leaning female. So if you could tell when I was talking about a flat shell versus curved, concave, like a little U, he doesn't have that. He has more, it's more flat right now. So I should be saying she, because he's leaning female. Now we're going to talk about the tail. Sorry, buddy. Look at that tiny little tail. It is just a little stub. Look at that. And he's very messy. He's got just a little stub for a tail. Males will have it go really long into the side, like right here, the tail will hang out. So you see where his little spike is? Males have a really long tail that could go even that far. So that's another sign that tells me that Sinky might be leaning female. So short tail, flat base, and short gular horns. Some people can tell based on their anal scutes, which are these like the V shape right here. You can see it, but he's still a little too young to be determining that. So I'm gonna throw some pictures up right here, just that distinguishes those signs in a visual form for those of you who have trouble seeing it on the video. But those are the signs. Sorry, Sinky, had to flip you over for a bit. They're fine being flipped over temporarily. Some people panic. They're like, oh no, you flipped your tortoise over. It's okay if it's temporary. It's not going to hurt them. It's when they're flipped over for hours on end in the baking sun where their body kind of gets a little mangled. But yeah, he's healthy. He's really good. and he's gonna get a nice treatment today, or she. I've been saying he for years. He's 4 years old. I'll make the decision in 2 years if he still looks like a female. But he's gonna get a bit of a coconut rub. Look at this coconut oil. It's wonderful and it's natural. And he got dirt in it. Wonderful. It smells so good. I don't know. I love coconut and it smells delicious. So he just recently has been kind of not shedding his scutes, but growing, I'll say. So his growth lines have been pretty prominent if you notice them in the video. And so I like to put in a little bit of coconut oil just on his shell, make sure not to get it on his skin, because I don't want it to interfere with how he absorbs like the UV rays. So I want to keep it to his shell. And he gets a bath pretty often, so it's not like this will be on his shell forever. It's just enough to moisturize it so he doesn't get all crackly and, you know, all gross in the winter, because sometimes the winter is really dry and it can be bad for their shell. So coconut oil also has quite a few vitamins in it, so just massaging it in there, all nice. Oh, you smell so good. You ever just sniff your tortoise? No? You ever thought you'd hear that in your life? Me neither. I never thought I'd say it. But he does smell really good. Just rubbing it in. And now he's shiny. Look at that. He's a shiny boy. Or girl. I don't know. Yeah, he's a cutie though, isn't he? Next, I figured I would give you guys a little special treat in this video. And let me get it. Alright guys, now before I show you the new treat for today's video, I did just want to mention, because I forgot to mention it, that when you put the coconut oil on your tortoise's shell, and you want to make sure it's that extra virgin coconut oil, and I'll put a link to that in the description, but you want to make sure that you scrub it off with a toothbrush within 24 to 48 hours because it will build up quite a bit of dirt. And yes, it is good. It is like an antibacterial, antifungal for the surface of the shell. You also know that the shell needs oxygen and needs to be able to fully absorb those UV rays. So even though it's good for a short-term moisturizer every couple months, you don't want to leave it on for more than 24 hours. So just keep that in mind, play it safe, scrub it off after 24 hours, so you'll be moisturizing the shell and practically cleaning the shell, but you definitely want to make sure that you rinse that off after the correct time frame. So I did want to put that in there because it's a good thing, but you also want to make sure you know all the information. But yeah, so now for the wonderful thing you've been waiting for. It is squash. Wow, you may be wondering, what is this? It is a yellow tortoise, or white, depending on what you see. Well, this, my friend, is squash. Hopefully that's focusing. You having a good time, Squash? Yeah? Now, if you see those red eyes, this lack of pigmentation, you notice that this is an albino sulcata tortoise. Not just any albino sulcata, a baby albino sulcata tortoise, meaning she will get as big as Sincy, and she will get huge, and she'll be albino, so it's possible that you might have to put a little bit of sunscreen on their shell. But you want to make sure that you get the right stuff, so do research beforehand. But anyways, these lovely little sulcatas, she's having a great time trying to escape. Let me go down here so you guys can have a better view. But she is the cutest little thing. And as I was saying before, she is albino, so you can note that those red eyes and the lack of black coloring. So you see her growth lines? Those of course are still going to be that white, but they're not going to fill in with keratin and other colors that come in like in the normal sulcatas. So she will be this beautiful golden color her entire life. It's wonderful. Oh, she's just adorable, isn't she? Wonderful. All right, so now, don't mind me, I'm just flipping over safely. I wanted to show you guys the belly of these guys because you can see that compared to the male, and female adult Sulcata tortoise, it's a little different. The babies look a lot like the females. They've got short gular horns, they've got anal scutes that you have no clue what they can be. You got a tiny tail. They look females as babies. And that's why it's such a big deal with, that you can't actually determine whether they're male or female until a certain age, because they just all look female until they get big enough and start showing those characteristics that lean towards male or lean towards female. And even then, it could take even longer to determine. But anyways, I just thought I would show you guys our newest little addition. She is missing part of her nail on that one her right foot. So don't worry about that. That had happened early on, and she had hit it against something in the enclosure that had unfortunately broken the nail. It will grow back, but she is a cutie. If you notice the green on her face, oh, it's okay, it's okay. If you notice the green on her face, some baby sulcatas will have green on their mouths, and it's because they eat their poop, which is really gross. It's really gross. So she's eating turnip greens right now and Missouri tortoise diet with a little bit of grass on top. But still, sometimes I guess, you know, her own feces seems to be more appetizing. Isn't that right, little one? Yes. Oh, you were such a cutie. But yes, that's it for today's video. I'm gonna put her on the ground so you can enjoy looking at her. Here you are on that beautiful ground. Just get that lovely coloration. Sorry about that. There we go. Where are you going? So to wrap up today's video, we did talk a bit about what I've upgraded with Sincy's little winter enclosure, and yeah, that really, the biggest thing with that is make sure you have a ceramic heat bulb in there, and so it can get warm enough. I forgot to mention in the video, but when he does have those halogen bulbs on, there is a basking spot of at least 95. I just don't have them on during the day because he's outside during the day, so it's not as important. But oh, squash. But yeah, so that's the biggest thing with the winter enclosure. And then we talked a little bit about how to determine male versus female sulcatas, and really you have to wait until they're at least 16 inches from their shell length until you can really have a almost a for sure idea in most cases whether they're male or female. Males will be really prominent with that concave shape on their plastron, and females, you know, will have that really short tail, not crazy characteristics, that nice flat plastron. And I did show those videos so you guys can compare if you'd like. And yes, this is Squash. She is the albino Sulcata tortoise. And I'll let you guys go with that.